I'm Azaria Tagaya, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Training management system to be abolished next year to ease teachers' workload. And Malaysia's sepak takraw and women's badminton doubles break gold medal drought. Good morning. We begin the bulletin with news from the 2025 Thailand SEA Games. It was a historic day for the Malaysian contingent on the fifth day of competition as the nation secured two long-awaited gold medals. The men's Regu sepak takraw squad ended a 34-year wait to reclaim the gold medal, while women's badminton doubles pair Buletin and Tina ended a decade-long gold medal drought in their event. Malaysia's long wait to end the drought in the Team Regu Sepak Takraw Championship finally materialised when the national squad defeated arch-rivals Thailand 2-1 in the final. After dropping the first match, the national squad bounced back strongly, winning the second and third matches to seal the victory. The success thus ended a 34-year wait to lift the Team Regu Championship, which was last won at the 1991 SEA Games in Manila. In women's badminton doubles, Pearly and Tina also delivered a thrilling gold, ending a decade-long wait for Malaysia in the event. The world number 2 pair fought back in an 86-minute final to defeat Indonesia's Febriana Dwi Puji Kusuma and Melissa Trias Puspitasari 21-16, 19-21, 21-17. Now, the Education Ministry will abolish its Training Management System, or SPL-KPM, beginning next year as part of ongoing efforts to reduce the workload on teachers. The ministry said the decision was made following continuous assessment of teachers' work demands as well as feedback from educators nationwide. Education Minister Fadlina Sidit noted that the ministry had previously introduced several interventions to address workload issues, including improvements to the student discipline system.
Dalam soal kita melihat tahun kehadapan, kita mahu guru kita memberikan tumpuan yang secara penuh dalam kelas dan khususnya untuk memberikan tumpuan kepada isu-isu kurikulum baru dan juga pelan pembangunan baru. Jadi SPL-KPM ini kita hapuskan dengan hasrat untuk terus memberikan keyakinan dan juga sebagai usaha konsisten untuk terus mengurangkan beban guru.
Fadlina added that the training management system had long been a subject of discussion among teachers, many of whom felt the system imposed additional requirements that distracted from teaching and learning in the classroom. In a related development, Fadlina said the implementation of education reforms will continue to be strengthened. She added that the ministry's main focus next year will be the rollout of the 2027 school curriculum. The revamped curriculum will be implemented in stages, beginning in 2026 at the preschool level, followed by Year 1 and Form 1 in 2027.
Tumpuan kita adalah untuk mempersiapkan para guru kita untuk kurikulum 2027 dan 2026 akan bermula dengan prasekolah dan saya mohon untuk kita terus bersama dan komitmen Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia untuk memastikan beban guru ini terus berkurangan supaya guru-guru kita boleh memberikan tumpuan di dalam kelas, khususnya meningkatkan PDP, menguasai pedagogi dan melakukan reformasi-reformasi di dalam kelas mereka.
In addition, the ministry is also focusing on the implementation of the Malaysia Education Development Plan 2026 to 2035. Fadlina also highlighted that the ministry has recorded significant achievements after 3 years of education reform, with major progress made in addressing teacher shortages, dilapidated schools and access to education. Welcoming the move, the National Union of the Teaching Profession, NUTP, said the Education Ministry's decision to abolish the Training Management System, SPL-KPM, will help ease the emotional and administrative burden on teachers. Its Secretary-General, Fauzi Singon, said the system had long been a source of stress for educators nationwide.
NUTP would like to thank YB Fadlina Siddiq for the abolishment of training management system SPL-KPM, which has become an emotional stress for teachers in Malaysia due to the very severe online access issues. We believe that teachers are always improving their skills and competence for the sake of their students. NUTP also hopes that MOE will upgrade their ICT infrastructure to prevent recurrence of such issues.
The Johor Fire and Rescue Department, JBPM, is conducting a detailed investigation into the crane collapse at the power plant along Jalan Tanjung Bin in Kukuk Pontian on Saturday. Authorities are also looking into a fire involving a four-wheel drive vehicle that was at the site during the incident. At the same time, the Johor Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, has issued 2 prohibition notices and ordered the closure of the site until its investigation into the causes of the accident is completed. In a statement, DOSH said it received a report of the incident and promptly deployed an investigation team to the scene. Action may be taken against those responsible under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, which provides for a fine of up to 500,000 ringgit, imprisonment of up to 2 years, or both upon conviction. In the 12:10 p.m. incident, 2 workers were killed when the crane collapsed, while 3 others were injured. The tragedy claimed the lives of 19-year-old Muhammad Al-Farid Ahmad and Muhammad Amaluddin Hisamuddin, aged 22. Earlier, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof, who is also the Energy Transition and Water Transformation Minister, called for a thorough, transparent and comprehensive investigation into the incident. He stressed that any negligence or failure to comply with standard operating procedures must not be compromised and that appropriate action should be taken. Meanwhile, a somber atmosphere enveloped the forensic unit of Pontian Hospital on Sunday, where more than 50 family members and acquaintances of the victims waited for the post-mortem to conclude. The bodies were later handed over to their families in the afternoon. Muhammad Al-Farid's remains were taken home to Tanah Merah, Kelantan, while Muhammad Amaluddin was laid to rest at the Gelang Patah Muslim Cemetery. In another development, 2 of the 3 workers who survived the coal crane collapse were reported to be in critical condition. Pontian Police Chief Superintendent Hazrat Hussein Mion Hussein said both victims were sent to Sultanah Aminah Hospital, HSA, in Johor Bahru for treatment. The remaining survivor, who was initially treated in the yellow zone at Pontian Hospital, was also referred to HSA for further examination.
2 cedera parah telah dikejarkan di Hospital Sultanah Aminah, Johor Bahru, dan seorang masih berada di zon kuning. Yang 2 orang tu, salah seorang menurut doktor pakar, tulang rusuk dia patah terkeluar.
He added that the police are still awaiting the full findings from JBPM, as well as a comprehensive report from the power plant operator regarding their respective investigations into the incident. Continuous heavy rain linked to the northeast monsoon has entered its 3rd phase, with a severe level warning issued until Thursday. According to the Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, Kelantan and Terengganu, as well as parts of eastern Pahang and eastern Johor, are expected to experience very heavy rainfall. Met Malaysia Deputy Director General of Operations Ambon Dindang said the latest episode began on Saturday. Analysis of radar imagery, satellite data and weather forecast models indicate the rain could persist for several days, unlike typical rainfall events that are brief and localized.
Kita mengeluarkan amaran hujan berterusan. Disebabkan luruan monsun yang agak kuat datang daripada arah timur laut dan membawa semua kelembapan yang datang daripada Laut Cina Selatan untuk memasuki bahagian timur semenanjung Malaysia dan memberikan hujan yang agak lebat.
Met Malaysia expects 5 to 7 episodes of continuous heavy rain throughout the 2025 to 2026 northeast monsoon season, which runs from early November until March.
So model cuaca tu harus kita analisis secara harian. So kalau dia punya konsistensi dia tu adalah berterusan, maka kita tahu dia akan hujan tu akan lebat. Daripada situ kita boleh meningkatkan amaran. So dia tak boleh dikeluarkan dengan terlalu awal. Kerana kita tak tahu dari segi Malaysia ni luas, mana satu yang akan terkesan.
Residents in low-lying areas and near rivers are advised to remain vigilant and follow instructions issued by the authorities. There will be no path back for any Barisan Nasional Component Party that chooses to leave the coalition. BN Chairman Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said parties that decide to exit must accept the consequences, including the reality that they will not be allowed to rejoin.
Jangan desak kepimpinan Barisan Nasional untuk buat keputusan. Keputusan pasti akan dibuat. Hanya masa yang terbaki akan menentukan ke mana hala tuju kamu untuk mematikan diri kamu sendiri.
Zahid said this when addressing the Indian Progressive Front IPF General Assembly on Sunday. Also present were BN Secretary General Datuk Sri Zamri Abdul Kadir and IPF President Datuk T. Loganathan. When asked about the latest developments regarding the position of the MIC within BN, Ahmad Zahid said the coalition has yet to receive any official notification from the party's leadership. The government's plan to implement restrictions on social media use for children aged 16 and under has drawn mixed reactions from various stakeholders. While the measure is intended to protect children online, it needs to be carefully refined to ensure it does not exacerbate the existing situation. Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Asfar has the details.
With new social media rules being discussed, the focus is on keeping children safe online. The debate continues as digital spaces play an increasingly influential role in young people's lives. With global attention on Australia following its implementation of the world's first ever teen social media ban, Malaysia appears set to follow suit. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadzil has announced that the government aims to roll out the ban next year, with platform providers expected to implement electronic Know Your Customer or EKYC measures. Malaysian Cyber Consumers Association MCCA President Siraj Jalil said the ban alone may not fully resolve the issue, but it could help foster a society that is more attentive to the well-being of the younger generation.
However, it will going to give the attitude or culture in Malaysia can be set up that by telling any kind of children aged below 16 is not suitable.
There is also the risk of the ban encouraging teenagers to seek other dangerous alternatives to social media.
If too much on restriction or banning, normal consumer behavior, they are going to looking for other alternatives because younger generation more rebellious.
Meanwhile, Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, Suhakam Children's Commissioner-in-Chief Farah Nini Dusuki said children should be allowed to take part in drafting the ban.
They must be given the right to participate in expressing their views, expressing their opinions in decisions that affect their well-being. And this is one of the examples whereby when imposing a social a ban on social media below the age of 16 require their participation.
At the same time, greater efforts are needed to step up internet literacy and online safety awareness.
The other important point is to enhance their resilience by way of raising awareness and educating them on what is safe and what is not safe for them. And perhaps, if we do this, then children will be more prepared. They will be more resilient when they go into the net.
The public also voiced differing views on the matter.
I think maybe banning it completely is not such a great move because there are pros and cons to everything, right? But maybe having some sort of control mechanism in terms of filtering the contents, because right now it's too open.
Now with online learning and full accessibility, I think children will have easier access and it's much more easier to actually access something that is not supposed to be within their reach, right?
Saya sokong sebab saya rasa untuk umur yang masih di bawah 18 ataupun 20 tahun ke atas tu dia kadang-kadang keputusan ataupun dia mudah terpengaruh dengan perkara-perkara yang kurang relevan lah dekat media sosial ni.
With the ban set to be implemented soon, the challenge remains in safeguarding younger generations from the dangers that lurk online. Muhammad Nadir Asfar, TV3.
Blaze destroys 30 stilt houses in Tawau. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Pentas ini milik bintang nombor 1. Tahniah. Kita repeat lagi tahun depan. Ya. Lagi. APPBH 37, satu keunggulan, tiada lawan.
Pusna nak kerja dengan Mami.
Tapi awak tak boleh buat Mami saya macam tu.
Saya tak boleh buat. Mami boleh buat. Keluar! Keluar! Sabar apa dah? Sabar macam ni. Tak sabar lagi. Aku tak ada laki macam kau pun. Tak apalah.
Syah, sabar Syah.
Abang cuma nak pergi minta maaf, minta ampun dengan Mami.
Minta ampun?
Mami tanggungjawab hadis. Syurga hadis. Mami syurga hadis.
Minggu akhir, Sumpah Ibuku di Akasia TV3.
Kalau kita seorang je perempuan dalam bidang tu yang ramai lelaki, saya rasa itu bukan satu kurangan bagi kita. Sebenarnya itu adalah kelebihan untuk kita. Jangan takut.
Walaupun mereka OKU, tak nak pelajar ni kena habis dan faham baru dia boleh bersaing dengan pelajar yang normal.
Kemahiran ni hari-hari kita guna pakai. Lagi mana terlibat dalam industri maritim ni boleh jalan lah walaupun sukar. Dan TVET ni dia boleh menjamin masa depan.
Welcome back. The syndicate behind the attempt to smuggle 11 million ringgit worth of drugs near the Malaysia-Thailand border recently had deliberately kept its operation low-tech. It's been learnt that the syndicate had employed human mules to haul the drugs on foot in an attempt to evade detection. The arrest was made at about 4:30 a.m. on Tuesday in the Durian Burong forest area during the Army's Ops Circuit. Kedah Police Chief Dato' Azli Abu Shah said the 9 suspects carried gunny sacks, each containing about 35 kilograms of drugs, armed only with basic items such as parangs, torches and walkie-talkies. They were believed to have walked 4 kilometers through the woods from Thailand before being intercepted just 400 meters inside Malaysian territory by the Army's Royal Ranger Regiment. One suspect was apprehended while the 8 others are currently being tracked down.
Jadi yang datang ni dia nak, orang kata kalau bahasa polis dan tentera, nak riki, nak menentukan ada tak penguatkuasa agensi keselamatan tentera, ada tak penonda. Jadi masa tu dapat dikesan oleh pihak tentera dan terus tahanlah. Jadi bila tahan ni, yang lain ni di garis padan ni, dia orang terus withdraw.
The drugs were meant to be handed over to a Malaysian man and were meant to be sent to the Klang Valley. The 331-kilogram seizure was the Army's largest drug haul this year. Azli said authorities are coordinating with their Thai counterparts to dismantle the syndicate, which has been active since October and believed to be based in Thailand. The prosecution in Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman's corruption appeal will finalise its position before the federal court this Wednesday, deciding whether to proceed with its bid to overturn the acquittal of the Muar Member of Parliament. The case involves 4 charges of abetting breach of trust, misappropriation of property and money laundering relating to 1 million ringgit in funds belonging to Bersatu Youth. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Legal and Prosecution Division Senior Director Datuk Wan Shaharuddin Wan Ladin said on Sunday that the matter will be communicated via a letter to the Deputy Registrar of the Federal Court. He added that there will be no open court proceedings on the day in question. The prosecution will also consult with the Attorney General to obtain further instructions. Under Article 145, subsection 3 of the Federal Constitution, the public prosecutor has the discretion to initiate, conduct, continue or discontinue criminal proceedings at any level of the courts. Last Friday, the Apex Court gave the prosecution a week to reassess whether to proceed with their appeal against Syed Saddiq's acquittal. Court of Appeal President Dato' Abu Bakar Jais, who led the 3-judge panel, said the prosecution must make a clear decision and inform the court within the stipulated period. On June 25th, the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged Syed Saddiq after allowing his appeal to set aside the 7-year jail sentence, 2 strokes of the cane and 10 million ringgit fine handed down by the High Court on November 9th, 2023. In Sabah, 30 stilt houses were completely destroyed after a fire broke out at Kampung Sri Aman Tawau late Saturday night. Fortunately, no casualties were reported. District Fire and Rescue Station Chief Jemishin Ujin said the fire is believed to have started at around 11:20 p.m. in one of the wooden houses before rapidly spreading to the neighbouring homes due to their close proximity. A total of 27 firefighters were immediately deployed to the scene after an emergency call was received. Swift action by rescuers prevented the blaze from spreading, saving about 300 other houses in the surrounding vicinity. Firefighters battled raging flames using multiple water jets from fire hydrants and open water sources from the sea. The firefighting operation ended at 3:10 a.m. The cause of the fire and the amount of losses are still under investigation. The body of a man believed to have drowned was found floating in Sungai Terengganu near the Kampung Batu Enam jetty in Kuala Terengganu on Sunday. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Azli Muhammad Noor confirmed the discovery, which was reported at around 11 a.m. The victim, identified as 35-year-old Amir Izzuddin Omar, was found by villagers in the area. Police believe he may have slipped and fallen into the river while at the jetty on Saturday night. According to the victim's mother, family members had been searching for him since he went missing but were unsuccessful. The body was handed over to the police before being taken to Sultan Zainal Abidin Hospital in Kuala Nerus for post-mortem. The case has been classified as sudden death. Also in Terengganu, all 6 Indonesian crew members of a tugboat were safely rescued after the vessel en route from Songkhla, Thailand to Singapore suffered a technical failure and ran aground near Pantai Batu Rakit in Kuala Nerus on Sunday. Police said the vessel developed technical problems after 5 days at sea at around 1 p.m. on Saturday. Rough seas and strong waves pushed the tugboat towards the coast, where it became stranded on the shoreline. The vessel was then spotted by local residents who alerted the authorities. 3 crew members were rescued by members of the public, while the remaining 3 were subsequently brought to safety by fire and rescue personnel. No serious injuries were reported. Cambodia-Thailand border clashes enter second week. The details when Nightline returns.
Kau berilah semangat kekuatan agar semesta lautan dapat dipertahan untuk imbangi indera lautan.
Tu.
Flat Star Cruise jadi sarang hayal.
Belakang.
Bangunan terbengkalai umpama lubuk dadah.
Ambil kat mana? Saya ambil kat biasa barang bawah tu. Saya call dia datang, saya ambil.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Sarah, what happened between you and Aiman?
Cuma lately ni dia nampak macam paranoid sikit. Ya, saya bina dia sebab selalunya saya tak mampu nak cakap semua tu dekat awak.
Saya tak nak benda macam tu buat kita misunderstand.
Bila masa aku hantar message ni?
Sarah, you okay? Dari tadi saya tengok you lain macam je.
Sarah, saya je nak explain pasal message.
Aiman, awak tak payah nak explain lah.
Macam mana boleh keluar teks ni tiba-tiba?
I Crush You, Jumaat dan Sabtu 9 malam. Di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Ini lah ni punca. Mula apalah. Kenapa jadi macam ni?
Sepanjang saya hidup ni, saya belajar satu benda lah. Saya kena redha walau benda tu susah.
We're back with news from the foreign front. Thailand on Sunday imposed a martial law and declared a curfew in its southeastern Trat province as fighting with Cambodia spread to coastal areas of a disputed border region 2 days after US President Donald Trump said the sides had agreed to stop. Thailand's Defence Ministry said a curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. was enforced in 4 districts of Trat, while similar measures were already in place in parts of Sekio province to the east. In a joint statement, Thailand's armed forces said there were no signs of a ceasefire being observed, with heavy attacks by Cambodian forces continuing into the early hours. The military said the violence escalated around 4 a.m. with rocket and artillery fire striking areas including Sisakit. Cambodian surveillance drones were also reported to have entered Thai airspace overnight. Bangkok claimed its forces destroyed several Cambodian military positions and secured a key area near a historic site in Surin province. Thai officials said the army remained determined to reclaim encroached border areas and neutralize threats to Thai forces and civilians. To date, at least 27 people have been killed, including 15 Thai soldiers and 11 Cambodian civilians. Meanwhile, Cambodia's Defence Ministry on Sunday accused the Thai military of launching multiple attacks on Cambodian territory, alleging artillery shelling, F-16 airstrikes and ground advances during recent border clashes. Phnom Penh claimed that Thai forces dropped bombs in areas including Previahar province late in the afternoon. Cambodia also alleged that Thai shelling hitting Prechan and surrounding villages forced civilians to flee their homes, contributing to a large-scale displacement of residents in border provinces. The Cambodian ministry said Thai military operations involved artillery fire and strikes by fighter jets, and that infantry units were reportedly pushing into forward areas. It added that further exchanges of fire and shelling were recorded as clashes intensified on multiple fronts, including near Banteay Meanchey province. In Australia, at least 12 people were killed after 2 gunmen opened fire at a Jewish festival at Sydney's Bondi Beach on Sunday. One of the shooters was also killed, while the other was taken into custody in critical condition. Local media reported that the attack occurred at 6:47 p.m. local time, when 2 black-clad armed men stood on a bridge and fired into a crowd of about 1,000 people attending the event. A total of 29 people, including 2 police officers, were injured and rushed to hospital. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese conveyed an emergency meeting of the National Security Council condemning the attack as beyond comprehension. Police are investigating whether a 3rd gunman was involved, as bomb disposal teams examined several suspected explosive devices. On to sports now. In the 2025 Thailand SEA Games, Malaysia's campaign took a dip on Sunday as the national contingent managed only 4 gold, 5 silver and 19 bronze on day 5 of competition. The latest results saw Malaysia slip outside the top 5 in the medal standings with a tally of 20 gold, 20 silver and 48 bronze. Apart from the 2 gold medals delivered by the men's team Regu Sepak Takraw squad and the women's badminton doubles, the other 2 golds were secured in the men's 10-meter air pistol and the women's silat artistic individual. In shooting, 2-time Olympian Jonathan Wong claimed gold with a score of 237.8 points, ahead of the Philippines' Michelangelo Fernandez and Indonesia's Aulia Sultanul Maruf. Meanwhile, Nur Shafiqah Hamzah won her maiden SEA Games gold in silat, ending a 20-year drought in the event. On to football now. Johor Darul Takzim made it 4 FA Cup titles in a row after trashing Sabah FC 5-0 in the final at the National Stadium Bukit Jalil on Sunday night. Despite the scoreline, the match was not without controversy, including a disallowed Sabah goal and a second yellow card for a Rhinos player. Zisco Muniz's side dominated from the off, taking the lead in the 8th minute through Jonathan Silva's header. An own goal from Sabah captain Rawilson Batuil made it 2 before Jairo da Silva scored with a header from a corner. Sabah thought they had pulled one back, but VAR ruled it out for a foul. The Rhinos' comeback hopes ended early in the second half when Miguel Cifuentes was sent off, allowing JDT to add 2 more goals through Arribas and Manuel Hidalgo, sealing their 5th FA Cup titles. Well, that's it from us at Nightline. Before we leave, let's turn to Portugal, where giant waves have drawn in thousands for the opening day of the surfing season. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching. See you next time.